Monterey KMOX News.
8:06, let's get a check of the forecast with Dave Murray.
The tornado watch continues to be in effect until 9 o'clock tonight. There's a cold front moving in, and along that front, there are scattered downpours of rain and thunderstorms. Some of the storms are strong to severe, and they've got hail in them, strong gusty winds, a lot of lightning, and the possibility of some tornadoes. So we really need to pay attention to the weather up through 9 o'clock. And then the winds turn to the northwest. We stay cloudy, but we'll cool off to 48 degrees. Friday, clouds giving way to slow clearing, noticeably cooler on Friday, but dry, 58. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
And that tornado watch in effect until 9 o'clock tonight for the bi-state. It already has cooled off. St. Peter 61, 64 in Florissant, and downtown of the Arch at 64. I'm Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Y98 presents the St. Louis City Soccer Report on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Here we go with another St. Louis City Soccer Report tonight on KMOX. Nate Gatter, Jen Cease with you from our downtown studios. Matt Pajeski is running things for us. We have a fun show tonight, looking back on that 2-2 draw for City against Austin. We'll talk to Dale Schilly, as we always do in our second segment here at 8:15. We'll talk to former MLS and FIFA assistant referee George Ganser at 8:45. And then Alex Pfeiffer, who's visited with us before, 15-year-old still, 16? 16 years old now from the St. Louis area, out of the Gallagher club, who signed with the Kansas City Current of the NWSL last November, I think it was, that she signed the deal right after the season ended. And she is getting ready to be part of her first NWSL season. The Current will open the season on Saturday at home against Portland, day after tomorrow.
Open the season and open their stadium.
Their brand new stadium,
Yeah.
That's right. The first stadium built only for an NWSL
That's
team,
right.
I believe.
They share with nobody.
Yeah, I saw that they got was it yesterday or the day before that the players got in and saw their locker room for the first time?
Yeah, that
which
was
maybe
something.
cutting that a little close, but
It kind of was a little bit. I mean, it's good to, I guess, make them like for the build up, but yeah, it was awful close for them to see the kind of circular locker room. All the jerseys were up. It was amazing.
I don't know if the right word would be funny, but it would at least be ironic after the example you like to use of back in the like St. Louis Athletica days and in the WPS, was it then, that of players having to change outside the stadium or whatever. It would be funny if the first women's soccer specific stadium with all the bells and whistles open, but they didn't have the locker rooms
They'd be
ready,
like, yeah,
and the
can you do
players
what all the old people did? And we went into a restroom or you just changed on the way.
Portland Thorns are changing on the bus. I'm not saying I wish that it happened, but there would have been a certain poetic irony to that.
All the older players would have been like,
on.
we've done that.
Right.
Yeah,
And it would have been a good story later on to be like, yeah, well, funny thing is, first day, we were actually throwing it back to even worse than it was last year.
It's funny. We're going to hear a little bit about that from Ruth Harker because she did all those things and some other fun tricks she had.
Yeah, we got some pre-recorded conversations that you did. One with Ruth Harker, who will be there in Kansas City for Alex Pfeiffer's
all the
first game.
85ers.
Do we know? I mean, this is maybe something that would be, and I don't want to put her on the spot when we talk to her at 9:05. But do we know if Alex is expected to play right out of the gate?
I want to look
16.
that up. I want to look that up. I mean, I could see her trailing in on that little reel that you're talking about there. So she's obviously got a spot
part
in the
of the
locker
first
room,
team
for sure. But yeah, it would be interesting to know who is rostered that day and who's not, and
right.
And knowing Alex, it will be a short form before she gets herself on that roster.
Yeah, because there have been teenagers to play in the NWSL, and not even just the older teenagers like a Trinity Rodman.
Yep.
But even Olivia Moultrie with Portland, who I think is the youngest player to ever appear in the NWSL. She would have been 15, I think, at the time that she debuted, and she became a regular piece for them. And Alex Pfeiffer had an absolutely monstrous under 16 CONCACAF championship that we talked about of what, a month ago or two when it happened?
She's crazy.
Probably about a month ago. I think it was around mid-February. And she just dominated that tournament. So we'll talk to her about all kinds of stuff coming up at the beginning of the second hour. Have conversations as well that Jen had this week with Edward Leuven, with Diego Giuliani, president of St. Louis City, or GM of St. Louis City, and Ruth Harker, former U.S. women's national team goalkeeper, who we've had on talking all number of things, including the U.S. women's national team, a little bit of City, and also just women's soccer at large. Let's start with this first hour for sure, with the focus really directly on St. Louis City, because it continued what I think has been an interesting start to the season. That 2-2 draw against Austin on the road last Saturday. Certainly not a bad result to get a point from that game. In particular, because of the way they did it. I think City have done, if you want to have draws,
Heart-stuffing draws.
if you want to draw games and have your fans feel good about it, the way to do it is score dramatically at the very end. And that was the case with Kojima in the opener back on the 24th of February, and it was the case with Celio Pompeo, who left it even later to the 3rd minute of added time, 90 minutes plus 3, last Saturday to get the draw with Austin. So City still unbeaten in their 2 trips to Austin, not a win this time. But they do get a point and remain unbeaten in their 3 games in MLS play so far this year.
Yeah, and as I'm not surprised, they're not happy, right? That they're not happy with that. I think Dale put it best at the end of the game. He said, glad to get the win, but not happy with it. They felt that they were good enough on the day to win that game. They had the opportunities. They had that disappointing. It was a great restart from Austin on the throw-in. It wasn't marked correctly, got through. And so I think it feels for City more like a loss of 2 points than a gain of 1.
They will play LA Galaxy day after tomorrow away in Carson, California. That'll be a 9:30 local time kickoff
It's
on
a
our
late
sister
one.
station, Y98, 9 o'clock pregame with our own Jen Cease on Saturday evening. Galaxy just ahead of City in 3rd place on by virtue of goals scored. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point in the season, but one of 5 other teams in the Western Conference who have not lost this year. One of them is Sporting Kansas City. They haven't lost this year, but they have 3 draws. So if the season ended right now, despite having not lost a game, they would not qualify for the playoffs because they're 10th out of 14 teams because they have 3 draws. Anyway, that really a purpose of nothing. But Portland, Minnesota, and LA Galaxy, the only 3 teams ahead of City at the moment. So we will see City against LA Galaxy coming up on Saturday evening, and you can hear it on our sister station Y98 or streaming live on the free Odyssey app, where you could always hear us streaming live or in podcast form as well. Dale Schilly will be joining us coming up next. If you want to be part of the show, you can tweet us at KMOX Sports. You can call or text 314-436-7900. That's 314-436-7900. Dale Schilly coming up after this. St. Louis City Soccer Report on KMOX.
Ad paid for by 24/7 Holdings, LLC. Attention business owners. Are you tired of those hefty credit card fees cutting into your profits? Well, we've got some exciting news for you. Thanks to the Dodd-Frank Act, there's now a game-changing solution to save you at least 95% on your processing expenses, guaranteed. Imagine processing unlimited transactions for as low as $49 a month. Our patented software gives your customers 2 price points based on how they pay, full or credit card price. It's that simple. And here's the best part. You can enjoy 24/7 support, next-day funding, a virtual terminal, online gateway, and ACH processing. Our patented solution is available in all 50 states, making it the go-to choice for thousands of businesses looking to eliminate processing fees for good. If you're ready to take your business to the next level, call 800-341-1609 now. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to save 95% on processing fees, guaranteed. Call 800-341-1609 and make the change today. That's 800-341-1609. Again, 800-341-1609.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best. Onder Law. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
The key to a great lawn is Scott's 4-Step Fertilizer Program, available at Cotton's Ace Hardware. When you buy the Scott's 4-Step Program, you'll receive a $20 Ace gift card only at Cotton's Ace Hardware locations. With the Scott's 4-Step Program, you'll feed your lawn after a harsh winter, control the spring weeds, and every season throughout the year, you'll have the product that you need to make your lawn the best one around. When it comes to lawn care, stop guessing, because the experts have already done it for you. Get the Scott's 4-Step Program at any area Cotton's Ace Hardware.
What if there is a murderer walking among us? Follow the clues. Solve the mystery.
This village really is a place where murder is easy.
Agatha Christie's Murder is Easy, a brand new BritBox original series, is streaming now, adding to the largest collection of Agatha Christie, including Miss Marple, Poirot, Why Didn't They Ask Evans, and more.
The whole collection, it is magnificent.
Stream the best of British TV, only on BritBox. Start a free trial at BritBox.com.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Biana's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard.
Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's almost time for your furnace to go to sleep and your air conditioner to kick in for a humid spring. Great time to call Comfort Solutions Heating and Cooling for a checkup, preventative maintenance, or even system replacement. Comfort Solutions, with 30 years of experience, is a reputable, reliable, and knowledgeable Lennox dealer. Lennox, an outstanding brand for more than a century, but Comfort Solutions can repair any make or model, offering 24-hour service, nights and weekends, and free estimates. It's ComfortSolutionsSTL.com or call 314-968-9900.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from thegelmanteam.com. If you need to sell your home to buy a new one, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator that you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman on your side, fighting for every last dollar. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
The Y98 St. Louis City Soccer Report continues on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
You know, we've got another away game. Obviously, it's been a good start to the year for us so far. An unbeaten start in the season. It's not quite as fireworky as last year, but we'll take this, in our pathway. It's a damn good performance from us in the first couple of games. So we'll collect those points gladly.
Bradley Carnell, St. Louis City head coach, talking about the start to the season his squad have enjoyed, but maybe not enjoyed quite the same way they did last year when they came flying out.
Yeah, it's just fireworky in a different way, just late comebacks.
Right. In that sense, there has been drama, even if it hasn't always resulted in 3 points. Nate Gatter, Gen C's back with you for more St. Louis City Soccer Report at our new and what should be, for the most part, regular time for this season, Thursday night.
How about that?
From 8 to 10 here on KMOX. And we are joined by Dale Schilly, who is with us most every week. Dale, thank you so much for being here. What do you make of Bradley Carnell's comments about, a little less fireworky, if we can borrow his made-up word, but at the same time, to Jen's point, still plenty of drama, maybe even more than the start of last year?
Yeah, I think we couldn't have been more dramatic than what we experienced last year. We couldn't have had a better start. I think this is much more normal, if you will. A couple of draws and a win in the league. So we'll certainly take it. There's a lot of teams that wish they were on 5 points after 3 games.
Dale, I was at practice today and I talked to Edward Louvre, and we're going to air that interview in a little bit. And he was just talking a little bit about, the comeback from last year, Austin, of course, and then, his own challenges in managing himself during the year. And sure enough, we find out today that he's got hamstring issues and most likely won't play.
Yeah, that's a blow. For sure, because he was rounding into his own. So Not only is it a hit now to the game, but it's also a hit for, however long he's out, and then recovery time after he gets himself healthy again, where he can start training. So it hurts.
And he did remark too that, although he did all the training, right? You do the training in the off season. That was something that you and I wanted to ask him. You do that training. It's just simply not the same as not only practicing with your team, but getting game minutes with your team. And to your point, he felt like that was his last game. He felt like was his best game.
Yeah, I mean, he's been getting better all along. He had a really good performance the other day. You know, you can really tell he wears his emotion on his sleeve, not in a dramatic way, but you can tell when he's feeling it, and you can tell when he's not, and when he's really struggling to find it. And he was in a good rhythm. And I think also, he started to figure out his partnership with Chris Durkin, and that's a pretty good pairing. Each other's strengths kind of complement each other. So we're going to miss him, but that's what this league is. It's about picking up the pieces and finding the next guy up. And you know how Bradley is with that.
Yes, I do. He made no bones about that in the press conference today.
Yeah.
Speaking of next guy up, there was a clip as well when he was talking about Joao Klaus not starting, and it was a little too long for us to play in its entirety. But essentially, he's saying, yeah, we've got competition up front, and if Klaus isn't on the same form that he was at his best last year, I reserve the right, same as with anybody else, to make a change if it's in the best interest of the team. First of all, do you think that's just answering the question, or maybe just trying to give Klaus a little bit of a nudge if he needs it? Or and then more importantly, what do you think Klaus has to do to get back to that great goal scoring form we saw from him, particularly early last season?
Yeah, I would say that Bradley's not just saying words. I think one of the best things that happened for Klaus is that Sam started off so strongly.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it put Klaus on the bench and didn't start the last couple of games. But Sam was on riding a hot streak and was performing well, so he deserved the opportunity to continue to play. So now Klaus, he missed the Austin, didn't start the Austin game, so now he's back. Does he get the starting lineup? Does he get a starting lineup this week? He could. And I'll tell you, based on his, the performance he had in the last 30 minutes last week, and based on his attitude and his work rate. After he was not in the starting 11, he's been very good. So he's been working his tail off, and it doesn't seem like that he's carrying any baggage with him like you would expect for some top players to carry. He seems to have accepted it and is continuing to work to try to get his spot back.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. There is something interestingly different about Joao Klaus, and I say that it's not just because of the swagger in his walk. It's not just the way he scores goals. It's the way that Dale. When a striker is a striker. Strikers are notoriously selfish for the best reason. There's a reason you pick certain personality types to go into a striker. They get really zoned in. They see the goal. They only sometimes see the goal. But Klaus has that while he also is the first to pass up. One of his first chances to score a goal back from his injury, he gave off to Nukvi.
Hey, Dad, I brought you some groceries. Oh, thanks, honey.
Dad's getting older and needs a little more help with the day-to-day. When we found out he had trouble keeping up with expenses, we didn't know what to do. There's help out there, though. We were relieved to find out Ameren can help with access to programs like energy assistance, bill paying options, and rebates, giving us the power to be at ease.
See how you can get help at Ameren.com/assistance.
On Sunday, April 7th, the Cardinals host the Marlins. And that day, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will take home their own long-sleeve hooded pullover. Everyone will want this light blue, lightweight, and stylish pullover that features a popular throwback logo. Following the game, kids 15 and younger can participate in the High Chew Kids Run the Bases. That's Sunday, April 7th. Great seats remain. Get yours at cardinals.com/promotion.
This is Nolan Gorman, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Hey Cardinals fans, since we're all just waiting around until the Cardinals get back on the field, let me tell you how Schnucks Rewards can save you money. With Schnucks Rewards, you earn 2% back on every purchase. Not only do you get points for money off, the Schnucks Rewards app has a lot of other features designed to make your grocery shopping easier. You'll also find hundreds of exclusive digital offers and coupons, personalized savings delivered to you in an instant in the app. Everyone is looking to save money these days. Reward yourself. Download the Schnucks Rewards app and start saving money off your groceries at Schnucks, proud partner of the St. Louis Cardinals.
There's a certain magic here in Cardinals Nation. Can you feel it? Central Bank is the hometown bank of the St. Louis Cardinals. Sign up for Cardinals checking with Central Bank and get your choice of Cardinals Performance Polo or Pullover and 2-game tickets. See bank for details, member FDIC.
From first base to home and from home to the stadium, you fuel the Cardinals and we fuel the fans. Download the Fuel Forward app and save up to 20 cents off per gallon on your first fill-up at Phillips 66. It's just like a four-seamer. Fueling up through the app is the fastest way to get a W. 20 cents is a combined savings of 5 cents every day off per gallon plus an extra 15 cents off per gallon for a first-time user up to 30 gallons. Offer valid once for a new Fuel Forward app user through 12/31/24. Participating locations only.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof.
Joel Balich, he's helped Ricky Puch. He's helped Cirillo, who's a new one as well, another midfield player, Delgado, Brugman. He's helped those guys raise their level. So now Ricky Puch, instead of being a connect-the-dots guy, has a guy who's extremely dangerous vertically in Pansel, and now he can put him in, he can play it to his feet, and Pansel can put defenders under duress because of his pace and his directness. And that's something that LA didn't have a year ago. So super dangerous team, a team that can beat you with consecutive passes. I think they're second in the league with averaging like 11, 10 pass sequences in succession, or 10 pass sequences during the course of a game. That's a lot. Second in the league, and they can beat you in transition because of their pace. It's a really difficult game, a lot different than what we saw the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's a really intriguing matchup, and I think a fun one in some ways for City fans to watch, and because of the way City play. You know, most fan bases, I think, would dread a game where they imagine they might have 40% possession. In some ways, City, both inside and outside the building, lick their chops at that kind of game.
That's right. Yeah. A year ago, Jen and I were scratching our head going, how does this work?
It's become routine now. Dale, we appreciate you. Safe travels out to LA tomorrow, and call a winner for us on Saturday night.
All right. Thank you.
That's Dale Schilly. You can hear him along with our own Jen Cease and Joey Zanaboni on the call of every City game on our sister station Y98 and streaming live on the free Odyssey app. We'll take a break, and when we return, we'll hear some of Jen Cease's conversation this week with City midfielder Edward Leuven. That's coming up next on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Listen, you've been making those house payments for years, right? And your home's value has never been higher. That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. Good for you. That's cash that you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel, everything you want. The catch is you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with the TrueHold Sell and Stay leaseback program. This is a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to TrueHold while its value is high. You bank all that equity in cash now, and you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And TrueHold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a TrueHold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out. TrueHold.com.
Clutter and junk collected corners and piles.
In attics and basements.
In closets and sheds.
And in garages.
Boy, does junk gather in garages.
The average garage is a convention center for junk.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
You're going to get a brand new garage.
You're going to get a bunch of new closets.
You're going to get a new shed.
Best of all, you're going to get fresh air freedom.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Ribicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Ribicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
Hey, have you saved more than $300,000 in an IRA or 401k? You may not realize it now, but you've got a big problem on your hands. And that problem is taxes. Learn how you could dramatically reduce the taxes on these accounts in retirement in a one-night adult education class, Retirement Planning 101. It's held at colleges and universities throughout Greater St. Louis and Southern Illinois. And it's hosted by financial and tax architects, your retirement professors. In just 3 hours, you'll benefit from decades of financial planning experience on taxes, healthcare, Social Security, investing for income, and more. If you've saved at least $300,000 for retirement, register now by calling 314-626-8817. You'll pay zero tuition for the class. So call 314-626-8817.
Advisory services offered through Financial and Tax Architects, an SEC registered investment advisory firm. Insurance products and services offered through Financial and Tax Architects.
Navien tankless water heaters, the proven leader in condensing technology. Request a Navien because you deserve the best in endless hot water delivery. Learn about Navien's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Now, your Live Nation lineup.
Don't miss these upcoming shows. James Taylor, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, June 6th. Styx and Foreigner. Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, June 18th. Earth, Wind, and Fire in Chicago. Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, July 10th. Sammy Hagar, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, August 31st. And Billy Joel and Sting, Busch Stadium, September 27th.
For tickets and info, hit up LiveNation.com.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
The Y98 St. Louis City Soccer Report continues on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Nate Gatter, Gen C's back with you for more St. Louis City Soccer Report with you until 10 o'clock this Thursday evening, and that'll be our regular schedule going forward, 8 to 10 on Thursday evenings here on KMOX. If you want to join in on the St. Louis City conversation or some of the other soccer conversation we'll be having in the second hour when we turn our attention a little bit to City 2 and to the women's game in that second hour with conversations with Alex Pfeiffer and Ruth Harker, as well as Diego Giuliani, you can reach out and call or text us at 314-436-7900. Once again, the number is 314-436-7900. You can also tweet us at KMOX Sports. The always ever-present Matt Pajeski will be keeping a careful eye on your tweets as they come in. Until we get to that, let's hear from Edouard Leuven, City's stalwart midfielder, although now struggling a little bit with a hamstring injury and not expected to play on Saturday night against LA Galaxy. Our own Jen Cease caught up with Leuven this week.
Here with Edouard Leuven, St. Louis City SC midfielder. I want to bring you back to a conversation we had last year. The first time you and I talked was after the FC Dallas game where it got rained out. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Good times.
Yeah. Not really.
Your first game, you said that it ever happened where you stop a game to go home and then come back.
That was very weird. Never experienced that before.
So I'll bring you further back to Austin last year. I think everybody in St. Louis remembers where they were because the game wasn't here. We were all watching at different places.
Yeah.
And you guys go back to Austin. Bring you back to those feelings of going back to the place you guys started last year.
For sure, like there were a lot of very nice memories, a lot of good emotions with the first game and the history of St. Louis City, winning the first game. It was incredible. Definitely a moment I won't ever forget. And then going back there was very good. We wanted to win that game and I think we should have. But in the end, it's also like mixed emotions because coming back twice and getting a point out of there was also huge.
It was Chris Durkin and Aziel Jackson were taken down by the same Austin player, draw the PK. You're the PK taker. What's your routine?
There was a very good moment by AZ. He drew most of our penalties, him and Indy. That was very smart by him, was a clear foul. I was thinking about it a lot, where I'm going to go. And then in the end, I decided to go through the middle.
Do you always know right away or does it take a minute?
Sometimes I do know, but in this moment, that was like a very spontaneous move.
Does it ever depend on the keeper?
Definitely. Alex is doing a great job always preparing me, analyzing the goalkeepers before the game, their behavior in penalties, free kicks and stuff like that. But in the end of the day, I'm trying to be more focused on my role, on my shot.
I remember a time last year when set pieces were kind of a staple for the way St. Louis City would get its goals for a period of time. So we score on a set piece and then Salio and Thomas Totland put something together to score in the run of play. It feels a bit more balanced this year with the goals so far.
Yeah, I think so as well. We are improving for sure. And that's what we discussed in the beginning of the season, how we want to play, how we want to be with the ball. And we've seen already a couple things like that. For example, in this case, this goal was something we analyzed before, that on the second post, that Austin is vulnerable.
You did? You knew that going in?
I mean, we analyzed that before the game. To execute it is a different thing. Tots did a great job playing it on the second post. Celia was there with a great finish. And obviously you are happy then knowing that you prepared yourself and that it's worth it.
I think you've told me once that you like to get the ball deeper in the field. What changes when you get the ball deep? You've literally put it on Sam's foot in stride. I think one time you put it on Sam's head in stride versus when you get it up further on the pitch.
Honestly, I like both. The thing is, when I'm more deep, I feel like I can create a little bit more and I have more options to come from behind with the ball, passing it, playing deep balls, playing also long balls, which is also something I like to do. But I also like to get it up the field. I mean, in general, I just want to have the ball. But it's a little bit harder, like when you are in between these spaces to receive the balls in there because it's like very tight. Then I'm more dependent on getting the balls in there versus when I'm deep, I can get the ball and then create something more on my own.
How do you feel about how you feel right now? I remember talking to you on February 15th. I don't know how you did it, training on your own. It's not the same as training with your team, even if you do the exact same workout. It seems like the last game felt like your most complete game and you looked like you were having fun. Were you having fun?
Yeah, definitely. I felt different for sure. You just need minutes in the end of the day. Like training is always good, but you need minutes in the games and that's what gives you the ultimate fitness. I felt in that game already much better. Yeah, I have some muscle, some small problems I would say right now that I have to take care of and hopefully I'm going to recover soon and then go game by game because like, at the end of the day the game's what gives you the ultimate fitness.
City looks different than last year. LA Galaxy looks different than last year. Last two games though you guys tied. How do you plan to play this team that you've played before but neither of you are the same?
Yeah, I mean LA Galaxy loves to have the ball. They love to combinate. They love short passes. They love to play around and go around over and over again. But I think that's also good for us. That's something we like. We want to obviously press them. That's what we did in the games before. I think in both games where we tied last year was pretty unlucky and were games that we should have won against them. So we are going there with a lot of confidence for sure. We're going to prepare ourselves this week because we know they made some changes. They have some new good players. Yeah, we're going to see how we're going to analyze them, but also be be more focused on what we want to bring on a pitch.
That was Edouard Leuven with our own Jen Cease this week. Quickly, just a couple minutes here before we have to get to break and then visit with George Gansner for Laws of the Game coming up at the end of this hour. But Jen, one of the things that stood out to me there from that conversation was his discussion of the goal from open play for City. It wouldn't have surprised me if he said, yeah, I analyzed a bunch of stats and video and trends on where I wanted to put my penalty against the goalkeeper.
And he did.
But right, I'm sure he did.
He
That's
did.
not surprising at all. I think it's a little more surprising to us thinking about an open play goal and all the moving parts that are at play there.
Yeah.
That would have been the product of essentially film study and discussion
I
during
think
the
it's
week.
so cool too, right? Because I think for a while, City last year took some shtick about being a set play team, right? We scored
That's
a lot
true.
of goals on set play, and there was a time where run of play goals were a little bit scarce. And this was, how cool is it that it's kind of it's a run of play goal for sure, but that stuff that, hey, players, that stuff that you work on in practice, like you have to execute it, of course, but it executed beautifully. And they had to do it in the 93rd minute and give us all a heart attack, but it worked, and it was a beautiful thing to see.
It shows the value as well for young players. I think in any sport, young players like to play a lot more than they like to practice. And I think sometimes that's
See?
because, at least for me, when I
I'm
was
here,
a kid
yeah.
and even into high school, I sometimes had a hard time seeing how it would translate. Sometimes when
Yeah.
you're doing a drill as a kid, you just think about
It's
doing
like,
the drill.
"Oh, all game, all the time. Let's just play.
And you don't think about how could this actually be improving me in the game setting. So it's a lesson that, obviously they have resources at their disposal that youth teams couldn't dream about, but it is a lesson for young players that those things can make a difference in success in the game. And, how much are you willing to sacrifice during the week in order to score a goal?
Yeah.
Right? How much is that worth to you? That's what Bear Bryant said. It's not the will to win. Everybody has that.
That's
It's the
right.
will to prepare to win, because not everybody has that.
And everybody on a youth field anymore knows that there's probably some VO camera that's up there by
Right.
now, and everybody has access to it. And so,
That's true. I'm
I
imagining
challenge
2004.
Oh
so.
my God. And I challenge my kids all the time who, a couple of them have phones, and it's like, it's fine. What are you looking at on that phone? Are you looking at that? Because you have access to that video. And my, 13-year-old who's going to, skip the MLS and go straight to the EPL
Right.
is maybe not always, it's like, how about you look at that video? See?
Right.
See? Stuff like
and
that
not
works.
just your highlights.
Yeah, not just a good touch.
One other thing, because he did mention that goal and the role that Tomas Totland played in it. I saw something funny today that Tom Timmerman, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch City beat writer, tweeted that Totland learned, as probably a decent number of other City players did, about tornado sirens today.
He had
this
no
morning.
idea.
He heard it and he thought it was like a fire alarm in his building. So he went outside because he thought the building was on fire.
It's
and
like,
then he
no,
realized
go back inside.
it was coming from outside. And if there was a fire, it was somewhere outside, and he should go back inside
It's
and get away from
inside.
it.
You
So-
think about it, because it's so part of we did those drills in school, right?
Right.
And so
Yeah, Nordic countries don't have many tornado sirens, I don't
guess
think.
it's a different thing.
It's
So
just-
it was a clever question by Tom Timmerman. And
So-
it was a funny response.
Totland became a Midwesterner today. We're going to take a quick break, and we will leave George Gansner about 5 minutes, as is typical for Laws of the Game. We'll talk about the continuing refereeing. It's not really a controversy or even a lot of drama anymore. It's just an ongoing narrative, ongoing storyline in this MLS season. St. Louis City Soccer Report continues after this on KMOX.
Let's talk garage doors. Your garage door. Is it too loud or letting cold or hot air in around the frame? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis will make it all better. In March only, they will perform their full 26-task garage door tune-up for just $79, and just in March. That's just $79 for up to 3 garage doors and openers. You need this done once a year, so why not now? And for just $79. Schedule now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
KMOX's Kegs and Eggs, presented by Budweiser, returns to 7th Street in downtown St. Louis before the home opener Thursday, April 4th. Tickets on sale now and include drinks from the Budweiser family of products, food from Sugar Fire, specialty drinks from the likes of Maker's Mark and Hornitos. Celebrate this unofficial St. Louis holiday with Overhead Door of St. Louis, Victory Men's Health, and Gateway Metro Federal Credit Union, helping people realize their financial potential. Tickets available now at KMOX.com/events.
After a long winter, winter, your lawn is going to be starving this spring. It's hungry, so it's time to feed it with Scott's 4-Step program, available at Cotton's Ace Hardware. The 4-Step includes weed prevention, and each season, the right amount of food to keep your lawn happy, healthy, and green, and the envy of the neighborhood. You can either get the 5,000 square foot package or the 15,000 square foot package and get a $20 gift card to Cotton's Ace Hardware. Do not neglect your lawn. Get started on the 4-Step today at Cotton's Ace Hardware.
Attention contractors, it's Andrea and Scott at Best Buy Flooring. We've joined forces with Carpet for Less to open a location in South County.
Visítenos para todas sus necesidades de pisos, como tablones de vinilo, láminas de vinilo, laminados y una gran selección de carpeta.
Celebrate our grand opening. Buy 1 square foot of in-stock hardwood at $2.99. Get 1 square foot free.
Sí, compre un pie de madera dura en stock y obtenga un pie cuadrado gratis.
Come see us at 13520 Tesson Ferry Road or anytime in Hazelwood, Missouri or O'Fallon, Illinois. Open 7 days a week. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
You know the Midwest Money slogan, isn't cash in the bank better than scrap in the drawer? This is Johnny Rabbit to tell you that's for sure. That's Midwest Money, the oldest coin shop in St. Louis. Buying, selling, and trading since 1971. Silver and gold, coins, sterling silver, antique firearms, military relics, uniforms, flags, medals, daggers, and more. Not sure what you have? Bring it to Midwest Money at 5900 Hampton in South St. Louis to find out. Plus, Midwest Money is home of the largest model train layout in St. Louis. And the first Sunday of every month, bring your family to see this great model railroad exhibit, and it's free. My advice to you is to bring your collectibles to someone you can trust. Midwest Money at the corner of Hampton and Holly Hills. So come on in. They'd like to meet you at Midwest Money. You'll be happy you did.
At paid for by 24/7 Holdings, LLC. Attention business owners. Are you tired of those hefty credit card fees cutting into your profits? Well, we've got some exciting news for you. Thanks to the Dodd-Frank Act, there's now a game-changing solution to save you at least 95% on your processing expenses, guaranteed. Imagine processing unlimited transactions for as low as $49 a month. Our patented software gives your customers 2 price points based on how they pay, full or credit card price. It's that simple. And here's the best part. You can enjoy 24/7 support, next-day funding, a virtual terminal, online gateway, and ACH processing. Our patented solution is available in all 50 states, making it the go-to choice for thousands of businesses looking to eliminate processing fees for good. If you're ready to take your business to the next level, call 800-341-1609 now. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to save 95% on processing fees guaranteed. Call 800-341-1609 and make the change today. That's 800-341-1609. Again, 800-341-1609.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Dell Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Dell's team live in St. Louis 2 days only at the Hilton Frontenac, Saturday and Sunday, April 27th and 28th. Register now at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. That's GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Enter promo code 2024 for a special discount offer. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Code 2024.
The Y98 St. Louis City Soccer Report continues on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
George Ganser is with us now on the St. Louis City Soccer Report, but there's something we got to do first.
Now, laws of the game.
It is in his contract. He won't talk to us without his theme music. He insists upon it. He's hung up on us before.
And nobody's giving it to him for his phone, because if he plays it on his phone, the phone's going in the trash can.
That's going to be your alarm clock for the next year. Congratulations.
Great.
George Ganser, former MLS and FIFA assistant referee, is with us. George, we always short you on time. We cut you from 10 minutes down to 7, as we do almost weekly. Let's just get right to the good stuff, which is what's the latest in terms of how close or far away the two sides are in the CBA negotiations between MLS and the Refereeing Association, and what do you think either side at this point would be willing to give up in order to get there?
Okay, so I'll start there. I don't know that either side is what they're willing to give up. I do believe that if MLS or Pro, sorry, it's MLS because they own Pro. If they were to offer half of what the referees have been putting out on social media, which is remotely $100,000 per team, if they were to offer half of that, I bet that it could get done. I bet it could. So
they're that far apart.
They're that far apart.
Wow.
And to my understanding, they did not talk this week. MLS last week made a statement and said we will keep open the what was the turned down agreement, our tentative agreement, or the voted down agreement until March 11th at midnight. And if you guys don't accept it, then we'll start going down with our offers. So not good, right? That's not good at all.
So we're really playing hardball here. I mean, this is getting ugly now.
They are, and there's really just no reason for it. I don't get it. When the league is doing so well, the value of the referees that are the professionals being on the field is it's so valuable. I mean, you can see that games every week so far have been impacted. Points have been impacted. And at the end of the year, MLS is not going to give those points back because they had replacement referees on the field. And so, there are things like, in last week in the St. Louis game, if you want to transition to this, I'll just take a question away from you, Nate and Jen. But the what should have been given a goal, right? And that they moved on from that so quickly. The ball was approximately 4 inches over the line. That is an estimate from a person online who does that type of estimation in an account on Twitter called Photogrammy or Photogram.
He basically does geometry, like in order to determine, to triangulate exactly where an object is. In this case, a soccer ball is in an image based on the other objects in the image. It's really interesting.
It's exactly right. And he used to do mine, or I shouldn't say he, I don't know if it's he or she, used to do my decisions and other decisions throughout the league on offside all the time. And every single time it was accurate what they reported. So I'm going to give this a lot of credibility and say that ball was about 4 inches across the line. And the assistant referee, that's a really difficult decision for the assistant referee because the goalkeeper is in the way, right? He's diving the other way and putting his hand up to knock the ball out. But 4 inches is a long way. And if you're in the right position, you should get that right without needing VAR. So there were other things that happened in the game. I mean, to be fair, St. Louis got lucky that Celio didn't get sent off when he got his yellow card. I watched that a few times, and for me, that was reviewable. If I were the VAR, based on what I know how the protocol goes, I would have sent that back to them to have a look at for a send-off. It was a straight leg on soft tissue with the bottom of his foot. That's the criteria for a red card. And so we got away, or St. Louis got away with that also. So just lots of things going wrong league-wide. Orlando and Montreal will get into a dust-up after the game. That's because the referee didn't manage it right. So there's just a lot going on.
So at this stage, when things are getting this ugly and the sides are this dug in and MLS are even threatening to grow the divide rather than shrink it between the two sides, other than continuing refereeing mistakes or endangerment of players, some of which we've already seen, and MLS and apparently has not moved MLS at all, other than that happening in such a high profile way that it would move the needle for MLS. Heck, we even had the whole Inter Miami jersey on a replacement ref who had to be taken off the game at the last second, which in my mind was a real black eye for the league. They don't seem to care about the black eyes that they're accumulating to this point. They're long since out of eyes to keep taking punches to. They don't seem to care. Outside of something really high profile, a player getting hurt, a massive brawl, where else can the Referees Association find its leverage? I mean, is this going to take players speaking out in press conferences, against the will of MLS, saying we need to get the referees back in here because I'm feeling unsafe or this is getting unfair?
So I think we're already getting to that point, Nate. And I say that because you can see the frustration rising week to week, resulting in Montreal and Orlando going at it. So again, not going at it, but dusting up after the game. You can see it with some of the ways that the players react because they don't react the way they're reacting with the real referees on the field. Taylor Twellman quoted the other day in, I think it was The Athletic, I'm not 100% sure, that he has spoken with players and coaches and administrations who are all very, very frustrated. And at some point, somebody who has a little bit bigger wallet and is willing to take a $25,000 fine is going to step up and say something. And eventually that'll start to get fixed.
It's interesting because Jeff Reuter, who contributes to this show, another Athletic writer, said, has a quote from an MLS roundtable table focusing on referees that Pro is going to continue to sit down and negotiate with PSRA. But if there's no resolution to be reached, we are more than prepared to see this all the way through. And that sounds like it could really all the way through to the final. Are we really going to do this?
So that costs them a lot more than just negotiating the deal. They have referees in the United States from other countries right now. They've publicly said that. So they're paying for those people to be here every single day, and they're paying to fly them around. So they pay the real referees to fly around and do camps and everything else. But I can guarantee you they're not doing camps. One of the biggest things for me right now is it's pretty clear to me that some of the games are being refereed in sort, or to some extent, by the VAR. I know who those guys are. They have had success in MLS. They're really good at what they do. And I'm almost sure, and I don't know it for 100%, that they are in the referee's ear saying, that's a foul, or yellow card, yellow card, yellow card. And I'm not the only one who thinks that, but it's just the way that things are happening on the field. And then all of a sudden there's a decision. The referees on the field aren't making that decision.
That makes, it makes perfect sense. We got to go to a break, but George, we appreciate your time as always. Thanks a lot for the insight. And we will look forward to talking to you again next week.
Yeah. Thanks both of you. Have a good weekend.
George Ganser, former MLS and FIFA assistant referee. To that point, by the way, that we were discussing, maybe a player with a bigger wallet who would be willing to step up and take the $25,000 fine. It made me think of the guy with the biggest wallet in the league. If Leo Messi went in front of the media and said, we need to get the real referees back in here, MLS would kowtow to every single demand by the end of the day. News is next. It's the St. Louis City Soccer Report on KMOX.
Hey guys, it's time for spring cleaning, and there's no one better to call than our friends at Zero Res. This month, get 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at $119. Take $50 off your air duct cleaning and 20% off your upholstery. Call 314-474-2020 or visit ZeroResSTL.com.
Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. That's 314-752-5000. So if you need some extra cash, looking for that one-of-a-kind piece, make Jewels on Hampton your first stop. Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills.
Hey, Cardinal Cowboy here. 67 years ago, Renner Garage Door opened its first location. Fast forward to today, Renner is proud to serve the entire St. Louis metro area, St. Charles, South County, and Eastern Illinois. When you buy a Renner Garage Door, you know you're getting the best sales and service. Renner only uses premium components for their wide selection of garage doors and LiftMaster openers. Visit RennerDoorSTL.com or give them a call. Renner welcomes you to become part of the family. Renner Forward and Back, RENNER. Giddy up!
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-403-5569 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-403-5569. That's 800-403-5569. What do you have to lose? Call 800-403-5569. Again, 800-403-5569.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9 million.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. In separate trials, James and Jennifer Crumbley become the first parents in the country to be held responsible for a child carrying out a school attack. In this case, the deadly 2021 Oxford, Michigan high school shooting. James Crumbley shook his head as the verdict was read.
Guilty of involuntary manslaughter as to Madison Baldwin. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter as to Tate Meir. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter as to Hannah St. Juliana. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter as to Justin Schilling.
Jennifer Crumbley was convicted of the same charges last month. The couple has been found guilty of not locking up a gun and ignoring their son's mental health. Indiana State Police say 3 people have died in an apparent tornado in Winchester, and as CBS's Dave Malkoff reports.
Tonight, the severe weather threat keeps growing in the Midwest with multiple tornadoes touching down in Indiana. In Hanover, a tornado ripped through homes, causing roofs to collapse, knocking down trees and power lines.
Total destruction. The inside, everything.
In Madison, another tornado crossed the Ohio River. Video shows debris spinning in the air.
Meantime, some portions of Colorado have up to 3 feet of snow. Former President Trump appears in a Florida courtroom where his lawyers argue to dismiss his classified documents case. The judge said no go. It's premature and is an issue to be decided during a jury trial. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum.
The judge ruled very quickly and rejected both of Donald Trump's arguments to dismiss the majority of the counts in the classified documents case. And that is that the records were personal to him, and therefore he was authorized to remove them from the White House and take them to Mar-a-Lago, and that the Espionage Act should not apply to a president.
Former Trump's Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin says on CNBC he plans to make a play to buy TikTok by way of an investor group.
This should be owned by U.S. businesses. There's no way that the Chinese would ever let a U.S. company own something like this in China.
The Senate will now consider a bill that would ban the video app in the U.S. if its China-based owner doesn't sell its stake. CBS's Stacey Lynn reports on long COVID.
These post-viral syndromes are a lot more common than we know.
CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder says the study found other infections also had ongoing problems.
In addition to COVID, flu, RSV, rhinovirus, and EBV, other infections associated with similar syndromes include tick-borne and GI infections.
Voters are now heading to the polls in Russia. That country's 3-day presidential election comes as Moscow's war in Ukraine enters its 3rd year. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 9:03, we have clouds and 63 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Maria Kina. Our top local story, police in Nashville continue to search for the missing University of Missouri student. Nashville Police Sergeant Robert Nielsen details the last moments that Riley Strain appears on camera.
It caught him between the James Robertson Bridge and Woodland Street Bridge traveling this way. He was on foot. There was nobody else around him that we can see. We do have some cameras on the back of our Birch building, which is our courthouse here. However, it doesn't catch him crossing the path of that.
Sergeant Nielsen says they are continuing to seek out more cameras or witnesses who might have seen Strain before his disappearance Friday night. He added they do not suspect foul play to be involved at this point. A team of experts from the Centers for Disease Control has arrived in Chicago to help manage a measles outbreak.
Most of the cases, which are highly contagious in the unvaccinated, were diagnosed in a migrant shelter. Dr. Alexander Garza is the Chief Community Health Officer for SSM Health. He says it's all about herd immunity and how illnesses like the measles can quickly spread among the unvaccinated.
It's unfortunate because, measles vaccine is extremely effective. But with vaccine hesitancy, there's just more opportunity to spread.
Dr. Garza says if you have been vaccinated and kept up to date on all your vaccines, you should have no reason at all to worry about getting the measles. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
For 37 years, he has been a panelist on Donnybrook on Channel 9, but tonight, Ray Hartman announced that his retirement. He's only Been on the program for 37 years. His next chapter is running for Congress in the 2nd Congressional District as a Democrat.
Women's reproductive freedom is on the ballot in this election. It's the first election since Roe v. Wade protection was taken away by the U.S. Supreme Court, and that's been in place for women throughout our country for 50 years.
But Hartman tells KMOX that's not the only issue that concerns him.
And, of course, there's no doubt the elephant in the room, I guess that's a bad expression, but is Donald Trump.
Hartman is also very concerned with the radioactive contamination at Westlake landfill that has gone on for years with no resolution. KMOX reached out to Congresswoman Wagner. So far, we have not heard back as yet. Well, the Brickline Greenway receives almost $10 million in funding for a pedestrian bicycle bridge that will help thousands get around more easily.
You're actually going to be able to walk safely from the St. Louis University campus around to the Grand Metro Station. If you're a visitor to the Foundry or the Armory, wow, you're just going to get to go. It's only about 30 yards, but it's an incredible impediment. So you're going to be able to go back and forth with no problem.
Susan Troutman with Great Rivers Greenways says I-64 was a huge impediment, but this bridge to be completed by 2028 will be the nexus for the whole project. Overnight, periods of storms and rain. I think the severity has all moved out of the area, though. A cold front moving in, lows of 48 degrees. Clouds tomorrow, some clearing, 58. Tomorrow night, cold, lows of 37 degrees. And for Saturday, sunshine and 65. Right now, 62 in St. Peter, 64 in Florissant, and downtown at the Arch, it's 63. I'm Maria Kina, KMOX News.
This is St. Louis City 2 Soccer on KMOX.
It's not St. Louis City 2 Soccer. Matt Pajeski, what's going on? It's not St. Louis City 2 Soccer. It's the St. Louis City Soccer Report on KMOX. You might be listening at some point.
Stay awake, everybody.
It's been a while since we've had St. Louis City 2 Soccer on KMOX. Actually, this has nothing to do with what we're about to talk about with Alex Pfeiffer, but I'm just going to say it because I'm thinking about it. The last time St. Louis City 2 Soccer was broadcast on KMOX was when City 2 finished their first season playing for the MLS Next Pro Championship. They played in Columbus against Columbus Crew 2. That would have been November of 2022. I think that was the last season because City 2 started a year before the first team started playing. They played in Next Pro the summer before, and the opposing goalkeeper that day for Columbus the Columbus Crew 2 was in his rookie year, was former St. Louis Billikens goalkeeper Patrick Schulte, who's from, I think, St. Charles area. And he went to the Elite Eight, won multiple A-10 championships as a Billiken. Then he was drafted by Columbus. He spent the first year mostly in Next Pro. Then this past season, last year and into this year, he has solidified himself as the number one goalkeeper for Columbus, arguably the best team in MLS. And now, during this week, news broke that there are numerous Premier League teams, including Arsenal and Manchester United, interested in him for a potential backup role to bring him over. So potentially he could go from playing against City 2 on KMOX to playing for one of the Premier League heavyweights in not even 2 years.
Wow, you want to talk about shifts from, where you played to where you could play.
Yeah.
Our next guest has that kind of shift.
Certainly.
She comes from Oakville playing at Queen of All Saints, Gallagher, ECNL, and one of the more recent posts, it was February, Casey Current, her own club, post, and this is a compliment, an absolute dog. Alex Pfeiffer showing out with the U.S. Youth National Team in the CONCACAF Women's U17 Championship, 4 goals, 2 assists, 3 caps, 2 starts, 142 minutes. Alex, you tired yet?
I am not tired.
I knew you were going to say that. It's 9:00 at night, and you're like, I'm not tired. I got my first game coming up.
Yeah, got to stay awake. Got to be excited always.
Alex, what are the emotions like? I mean, you played in big games. Not everybody gets the chance to represent their country at the youth level or otherwise. But what are the emotions like for you in anticipation of not just being part of your first professional game on Saturday, but also getting to be a part of a massive professional game in not just the history of Kansas City and of the Current, but the history of women's soccer, opening up the first ever team-specific professional women's stadium in the United States?
Yeah, I think it's incredible. I mean, not only is just a big moment for my team in the city, but it's a big moment across the whole world. And I think for me personally, I'm super excited and I'm grateful to be a part of this. But I think the main focus is just that game, how I can help impact the team.
I got to ask you, I saw, I think a day or two ago on Instagram, a reel of you guys, all you on the team, walking into your locker room, which looks amazing. Can
Yes.
just take me through, like, I was trying to find you. There's a few people with long blonde hair like yourself, but I kind of saw you in there, and then you were kind of off camera, so to speak. Talk me through what that was like for not only yourself, but your teammates walking into something so beautiful, so amazing, and absolutely what your team deserves.
I think everyone in that moment was just walking in there with so much just joy and excitement. I mean, we've been training at the stadium for a while now. And I think that just has brought everyone so much more intensity and just happiness with the team. And I think going and walking into that locker room was just pure, it was insane. I mean, everyone was so happy. I mean, you could see in the video, everyone was just running around.
You could.
And I think it was just a special moment for everyone to see how far women's soccer has come.
You know, I promised her I would say this. We're going to play a recorded interview with Ruth Harker. I don't know if you know of her, but if you don't, you will meet her. The 85ers, the 1985 team that kind of started it all, are going to be with you guys. You probably know, and they're going to make walk on that field, as Ruth jokingly says, maybe in our walkers, and they're going to walk on the field. And she specifically asked me to tell you to make sure she meets the young lady from St. Louis. So she'll be looking out for you, Alex.
Perfect.
And she's a crazy goalkeeper. You could see if she'd try to, stop a goal from you. I don't know that she could. She was pretty good, but age might be on your side.
I mean, maybe.
Speaking of age, and obviously the differential, I mean, there's probably close to a 10-year age gap between you and even the average Kansas City Current player, let alone some of the older, probably closer to 20 years for some of the older players in Kansas City and around the league. What has been maybe the biggest challenge for you in terms of adjusting from the very high level you were playing at, but mostly against other teenagers, to now suiting up on a day-to-day basis against grown women and seasoned professionals?
I think for me, it was just coming back from CONCACAF and just trying to get caught up with everything that the team was doing and learning and growing. I think that was the hardest part for me. And I think another hard part was off the field, like trying to talk to them or socialize them at the beginning was a little difficult because, like you said, there's 10 to 20 year age gap, so it can be hard to find topics to talk about.
You guys didn't go out for a beer just to break the ice?
No, definitely not at IMG, but I think that was just the most difficult part for me. But I think once I started getting back on the field with them and just playing more, I think it became a lot more easier.
Well, that's the common language of soccer, right? When it comes to, sometimes the socialization is the hard part, but when you play, sometimes that's the socialization. Did you find yourself connecting immediately with a player or two just through the course of playing?
Yeah, I feel like just getting back in CONCACAF, going to IMG with them for 3 weeks, just playing with everyone, I started to build better connections with them on and off the field, which is great, especially leading into this big weekend ahead.
What do you see as, obviously coming into a team like we talked about, where a lot of basically everyone has more experience and has been around? What do you see as the best way you can help the team, at least in the short term this season?
I think for me, it's just if I'm starting or coming off the bench, just having an impact and just being the best player that I can be and being that person that my teammates can go to if they need to, but also having their backs and they having my back. And I think that's the most important thing that my team talks about, is just always being there for each other and supporting each other through everything that we do. I think that's the most important thing I can do this season.
This is a funny thing. I think I'm gonna have to explain it for a second, but and it's not anything like what you're gonna do. It's not near the extreme. I broadcast some games, and I feel like sometimes when I'm about to do a broadcast for a big game, it kind of before the game, it hits you a little bit, right? Okay, this is a big deal. You're looking around, the crowd's really into it. The stakes are high. And I always want to appreciate that moment because it's cool. And I feel really lucky to get that opportunity. At the same time, you have to focus and be able to do the job. And part of doing the job is putting that out of your mind and treating it like it's any other game. It must be that times 25 for a player. How do you approach something? And maybe you don't know, I guess, since this will be, a new thing, but you've played in big games. How do you approach that balance between, on the one hand, letting yourself look around a little bit and soak in the moment because you've worked so hard to get to something like this? On the other hand, having to ultimately focus and not think about the stadium or the crowd and just get to work playing your game?
Yeah, I think for me, I've been in a few big games, but I think this one's the biggest probably ever. And I think my coaches put a big emphasis on this, but it's just taking your one moment in for the game, and then you're focused, you're locked in, you're ready to do your job on the field. So then off the field, it's a fun afternoon for us.
And I can imagine family, right? And I know your mom, I know your dad. We know we share some of the same contacts. Are uber excited to come and be there, I'm sure. And I don't know if you're going to know where they are in the stadium, but to know that they're there because Kansas City's not so far away, and being able to share in this moment with you.
Yeah, I think having my parents, my brother, and some other family here is going to be incredible. I mean, it's always great to have your support system there with you through it all. So I think it's going to be awesome to see them after the game and just let them come down to the field and just share that moment with them as well.
Alex, we appreciate your time as always. Thanks so much for being with us even before such a big game. We're rooting for you. We're really excited to watch.
Thank you guys so much.
Go get him, Pfeiffer.
Alex Pfeiffer of the U.S. Youth National Team, and now officially the Kansas City current first team with us, just 16 years old from St. Louis, and going to get a chance to be part of the unveiling of that new stadium in Kansas City, the first ever specifically built for a women's soccer team in the United States. Their fancy locker rooms, their fancy stadiums, and it's going to be in front of a national television audience. Noon on Saturday on ABC, on broadcast television, and on ESPN Plus. For those of you cord cutters out there, when we get back, I think we're going to get to that Ruth Harker interview here in just a moment, and I'm excited to do that. And let's talk a little bit too, Jen, about the fact that a women's soccer game is going to be on ABC, and the final was on CBS last year. It blows my mind a little bit, and it must blow yours and Ruth's even more.
Yeah.
St. Louis City Soccer Report continues next.
At NeoVitan, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new NeoVitan Omega-3 supplement. NeoVitan Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get NeoVitan Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a NeoVitan Omega-3 subscription at neovitan.com today.
Hi, it's Scott and Andrea from Best Buy Flooring with exciting news.
We've joined forces with Carpet for Less to open in South County. To celebrate our grand opening, buy 1 square foot of in-stock hardwood at the low price of $2.99 and get 1 square foot free.
Plus, all of your favorites, a huge selection of vinyl plank, vinyl tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, carpet tile, and carpet, all at low, low prices.
Come see us at our new South County location at 13520 Tesson Ferry Road between 270 and 141.
Visit us anytime at our Hazelwood, Missouri and O'Fallon, Illinois locations, open 7 days a week. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been hurt on the job, you need the best. Onder Law. Hurt on the job? Call Onder Law today for a free review at 314 or 618-9-MILLION.
Listen, you've been making those house payments for years, right? And your home's value has never been higher. That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. Good for you. That's cash that you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel, everything you want. The catch is you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with the TrueHold Sell and Stay Leaseback program. This is a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to TrueHold while its value is high. You bank all that equity in cash now, and you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And TrueHold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a TrueHold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out. TrueHold.com.
To me, the most important word in the world is dignity. There are certain God-given rights to be fed, to have shelter, medicine, and clothing. When many of our clients come to us, they face the great risk of losing much of what they have. In some cases, losing everything. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. In one instant, an accident, a natural disaster, or the intentional acts of others can threaten our dignity. Whether it's the loss of a paycheck, paying medical bills, enduring a life of pain and suffering, or a claim with your own insurance company, or a business dispute, and you can't afford to pay a lawyer by the hour, your dignity hangs in the balance. You only pay us if we recover for you. Let my firm fight for you, your family, and your dignity. Call us for a free consultation. Dial pound law on your cell phone. That's pound 529. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Let's save lives. An introduction to suicide prevention is an education program designed by and for the Black community. To learn more, go to afsp.org/chapters. AFSP is an I'm Listening partner. Learn more at imlistening.org and on the Odyssey app.
Broadcasting from the Underline Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
The Y98 St. Louis City Soccer Report continues on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
We're going to hear some of Jen Cease's conversation with Ruth Harker in just a moment. If you've got questions or comments, oh man, it is not Matt Pajeski's night tonight. So I'm just going to be straight up with all of you. Matt Pajeski is the best producer we have at KMOX. And tonight he is way off his game. So I gave him that compliment at the beginning so that I can really take him down now.
This is good because he likes me more now.
He is way off his game.
Nate sucks.
You've heard the City 2 rejoin, and then you heard whatever those drums were. And
there's a little Pat Benatar heartbreaker getting you ready.
Little Pat Benatar, never heard anybody. There it is. Yeah, you might as well just play it right at this point.
Thursday nights are more fun.
And then what people don't know is that he also hung up on poor Dale Schilly when we were trying to talk to him earlier. It didn't end up making any difference.
Don't hang up on Alex Pfeiffer.
He got it back in time. Right. Can you imagine? Poor Alex. We appreciate Alex joining us. She is
awesome.
Fantastic and remarkably, well-spoken for anybody, especially for being 16. And she's going to be doing many, many more interviews with people who are much bigger and more important than we are as her career goes on.
For sure.
Speaking of people who have had big and important careers, Ruth Harker certainly fits that bill. Goalkeeper for the 85ers, the women's national team, who sort of started it all, as you said. And you had that great conversation with her. Before we get to that, I wanted to touch again on the fact that if you want to watch Alex Pfeiffer and the Kansas City Current open the first ever purpose-built women's soccer stadium in the United States, you can do so on ABC, the American Broadcasting Company, over-the-air free broadcast television on Saturday at noon.
So you're telling me if you had an old tube television, you could turn the knob.
Antenna. All you need is a TV. It is free to watch ABC, Fox, CBS,
Nothing's free
NBC.
Anymore, Nate.
Well, the TV's not, but it is over-the-air television. So
your local pub
free.
can't say we don't get that channel.
They certainly can.
You do.
And it's part of NWSL's brand new 4-year media rights agreement that they signed in November. That went from the 3-year deal they had previously, which was exclusive to CBS Sports, to now one that includes CBS, but also includes ESPN, which is the same as ABC. It's all owned by Disney, Prime Video, and Scripps Sports. I don't remember what Scripps Sports is. Another streaming service. Doesn't matter. Their prior deal with CBS Sports, 3 years, paid them $4.5 million. That's $1.5 million per year. Guess how much they're getting per year? They were getting 1.5 on their previous deal. Guess how much in this new media rights deal they're getting per year for their television rights?
Who's getting?
The NWSL.
Okay.
The NWSL as a league. So the way that the rights agreements work is that the league signs their television rights, the right to air those games, over to these broadcast companies.
Okay.
Previously, the broadcast companies, which was only CBS at the time, were paying $1.5 million per year for the rights to air NWSL games. That number is now what?
You wouldn't let me look it up.
Take a wild guess.
5 million.
$60 million per year.
Shut up.
$60 million. It went up by 40 times.
Wow. So the women should make real salaries and we should get more teams and have academies and we're ready to roll.
We're moving in that direction.
Go.
Now, to be fair, some of the NWSL spent a little money it didn't yet have, and there was already big pay hikes on the last CBA.
Who doesn't do a little
But
bit
when
of
the
that?
CBA comes around again, it will They saw the raise coming. They saw
MLS did that.
They saw that paycheck coming down the line, and they put a little bit on the credit
They're
card.
like, let's go.
They put a little bit on the credit card.
Development.
Anyway, we got to get to the Ruth Harker interview, but it is amazing the growth of women's soccer and the stability that exists now, in contrast to even 10 years ago.
Just
let
wait till you
alone
hear this
30 years ago.
conversation. It's like we knew this was coming,
And
me and Ruth.
Ruth Harker has a perspective that spans certainly the last 40 and really more like the last 50 years of the women's game from when she was coming up in whatever youth systems existed in the mid to late 70s into the pros
No
in the
systems,
80s.
Nate.
And she can share a great perspective on that, as well as some comments on the TV situation. Ruth Harker visiting with Gen C's.
Joined now by Ruth Harker, member of the U.S. Women's National Team 85ers, UMSL Hall of Fame, St. Louis Soccer Hall of Fame, and so many more. And above all, my friend. Ruth, thanks for joining me.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jen.
Your time in the 85ers, which I love right now, is getting the recognition that it didn't get back in 1985 and didn't know as much about all the team. You got to give me the story real quick about how USA started. I have a pair of USA sweatpants, OOSA. How did that get started? Because the women's team still says it to this day.
Yeah, that's a great story. We were in Italy playing for the first time, and we hear cheering, and we think it's booing at first. We didn't know how we were going to be received there, and so we thought it was booing, and we're like, "Gosh, can you believe that?" And then the more we listened to it, we heard USA, because phonetically that's how the Italians would say USA, and so it warmed our hearts, and so we started saying USA all the time. So that's how the cheer became USA.
Do the young players know where it comes from now?
I don't know if they all know where it comes from. I know that they all do it. Took in a training session at St. Louis City's field there with the U.S. women's team, and they let me and my son lead the cheer, which was a great learning experience for the young ones, knowing that we were the pioneers of that particular cheer that's managed to weave its way through the tapestry of the history of U.S. women's soccer. It's just been the mainstay throughout each generation.
The Gold Cup finished, and the women came out victorious for the U.S., beating Brazil 1-0. They played Canada on a totally waterlogged pitch. I bet that's not surprising for you. Back in the day, you played on all conditions.
Oh, yeah. I remember mounding up a big thing of snow in front of the goal, so the ball, if it was on the ground, would have to pop up. So I would know.
There's a goalkeeper tactic you don't hear.
Doing things as best I could for myself in the day.
Do you see this as a point where the U.S. women are not the same team as the celebrated 99ers and the 91ers that kind of won it all at this moment, that they've gone through some struggle, they've gone through some identity change, and maybe are looking for a form when the rest of the world has caught up? What do you think's in store for the team in the next run for the next World Cup?
You have to go through developmental years. The pressure for the U.S. women to always have to win, that's instilled within these players generation from generation. But there is overlap. There's a time when the players are fatigued and they're, on the cusp of retirement, and these young players are just sinking their chops into this level and on that stage. This Gold Cup was a great place to see that, like with Jaden Shaw and Corbett and some of these young players, Coffee, coming out and shining their skills. But that experience on that stage is super key. It's way different than playing in the NWSL, unless maybe you get to the finals of that for a championship. Then, there may be some parity in the feeling of that. So I'm really glad that these young players are getting some of that experience under their belt. I do think it's getting closer in the world. We shed the light on this and showed the way. Our tactics were a little different and more physical. These other countries have caught up from the physicality side, and now they're taking it a step further with methodical passing, seamless deliveries that are just a beautiful part of the game. And the U.S. needs to take notice of that and get back to the incremental tweaks of the game that will bring them back to where we need to be.
I know you spent time in Spain, you spent time in Mexico, and the pathways look different. And when it comes to academies, we don't have those in the United States currently. We have 14 NWSL teams. And I've been asked more than once, what does the academy system look like? And my answer is there is no academy system, not like we have in St. Louis for City and other MLS teams. Is that something that might need development in terms of getting these players funneled the correct way or the way the other countries are doing right now?
I think absolutely. It's kind of a two two-step question. And first, the men need to do better. If the men did better in this country in terms of just their performance in the World Cup, we need a Messi, Ronaldo in this country to grow the interest in the game, then to be able to fund development. Because if you look at like Barcelona, where the women's teams are following underneath that, and now they're filling up stadiums themselves. Otherwise, if we don't get that done, we're going to see players from the United States going over to play for Barcelona or to play for Chelsea, where they do have systems in place for development to reach the highest levels in the game.
If I had the money, I would invest in women's sports one way or the other. It seems like it's inevitable. The tide is coming. You either can be surfing the front wave or you can be coming in with the rest of it. Sue Bird, she kind of mentioned that we've known it was coming. It was just a matter of when. This is not surprising, but the time is now and it will not be stopped.
Oh, no, the momentum, the interest is well-rounded. And it is coming, and I'm with you. I want to be on that wave. We did know it was going to happen, and beyond being held back for all those years, it's sort of in spite of that. You think about the English women who were banned from playing soccer for 50 years, already with a late start and then a ban. Now they're evening things out there in a lot of ways. The women are doing it, and it's so great. And obviously the viewership, which is pushed by women and little girls probably, and young boys now.
Yeah, they showed just recent a bunch of little boys trying really, really hard to get Caitlin Clark's signature.
Still, it's like 6% of all viewing of sports is women. The rest of that is men's sports. Just even watching the Gold Cup, just trying to watch it, a final. This is an inaugural event as well that people have a hard time finding it.
We should open a bar.
I think we absolutely should. I mean, that's so great. All women's sports all day. And then we have a goalkeeper who's stopping 3 and taking 1, man. I mean, come on.
She can do it all, right? I don't know if we've got anybody in history that's performed like Alyssa Nair.
Not as it relates to both sides of the ball. She had really big shoes to fill. She's kind of a quiet leader. I remember people asking me, I'm like, I hope it's an Nair, because I just feel like you need a lot of experience to be really good at it. You got to make a lot of decisions and have that experience of making those decisions to get really good at it. Yeah, she's come into her own and rightfully getting the praise she deserves.
Recently, the Casey Current women walking into their new locker room and just the emotions from the older players to the delight of the younger players. I bet that span of emotions between older players and younger, the experience was very different.
I bet so too. Coming in as a young player, you don't expect it, but you also have this vision of it. We never, as an older player, had that vision of it because we'd never seen it. You're walking into any locker room, we might be changing in the restroom with somewhere, or just, coming dressed. You're right. There are two vastly different perspectives. But, I'm so tickled about that. I'm just so tickled about the stadium going in, and, it's a wave. And Kansas City's betting on women.
Saturday, when St. Louis City takes on LA Galaxy, the 85ers will be in Kansas City for the opening of the Casey Current Stadium and be walking on that field.
So they're going to take us out onto the field at halftime, us 85ers, whoever can walk out there without their walker.
Ruth, how is that going to feel for you as a player? You've played everywhere with audiences, with no audiences, and now you're coming out to a women's only stadium dedicated to that team and their game.
I like the parallel of the 85ers to this first only women's stadium. So that parallel is a beautiful thing, and the fact that they want to honor that. And on some other level, I'm very shy about it.
I don't even know if it's possible to look into the crystal ball of the next 5 to 10 years for young girls, even women our age who are delighted at seeing this game grow. What do you see coming?
I see momentum. And whenever there's momentum, there's chaos, because it's just a natural byproduct. What I hope to see is a lot of collaboration. That's what my hope is, because it's coming. You're right. The wave is coming. But how we handle that wave, particularly as women, as business people and business women in the community, and the investments that are going into this, I just feel like the time is now for women to invest in it. If you're looking at like the Bay Area and what's happening out there, I see more expansion teams as success continues. And I see more people sort of paying attention to what's working and what's not working and how to address it within the feeder systems to these National Women's Soccer League programs.
Ruth Harker, former U.S. Women's National Team goalkeeper
awesome.
in 1985, visiting with Jen Cease. You guys have had a lot of conversations. What was your biggest takeaway from that one specifically?
Ruth is always a straight shooter. So she's, not only reminding us all of her grand intelligence on the game, right? She played in a time when the team was good because of physicality, athleticism, and they were great at it. And it's sometimes the criticism maybe of the teams right now of maybe not having some of the grit that some of us had to have playing. But one thing that I was kind of surprised on, because you'll find this divided down the middle. If you talk to Angel FC, anybody on their side, they're not necessarily of the mold that says we should be following the men. Like, let's do our own thing. Who says that the MLS has it right? So we do our own thing. But I thought it was interesting when she talks about Chelsea and Barcelona and others, that they actually those systems are running concurrently with the men, and they're being trained that way. And it makes you wonder if that's not the way to go. I don't know that those models fit in our culture, but it would be interesting to explore that, because we don't have academies for girls yet. It doesn't exist.
And there might be, from a physiological standpoint too, there's nothing wrong with saying there are some differences between the average 25-year-old male professional soccer player and the average 25-year-old female. And it's one of the things I think we're grappling with all these ACL tears. It's not as though men don't tear their ACLs, but they don't tear we have statistically shown they do not tear their ACLs at the rate that women do. Yeah. And so it's not the end of the world to be, in fact, not only is it not the end of the world, I think it's probably incumbent upon the sports scientists and medical professionals on the women's side to at least be exploring what could we do to try to solve this problem.
We're not many men.
Right.
So even though I know that in a men's shoe size, I'm probably going to pick a 6 or a 6.5, what man knows their women's shoe size? You don't. You never had to go pick a cleat that was only in one size. So our structure of our feet's different. Of course, there's a cyclical thing. We change every week. And those, they don't even understand how that leads to it. So absolutely. I mean, if you're a young person thinking of a new branch of science and medicine to go into, I'd be looking at something like this for sure.
We got to take a quick break, and we'll hear a little more of a Jen conversation. This one on City 2, among other things.
Oh, you can do the City 2 intro. There you go, Matt.
With Diego Gigliani. Yeah, this is what Matt Podjeski's been waiting for. Play us on out, Matt. Huh? You've been itching. You got to have something. And we're going to also have to talk to Matt, I think, a little bit at the very end of the show, and just give him a chance to discuss, because his name has come up a lot in this show. So we'll hear from Diego Gigliani, president and general manager of St. Louis City, coming up next on KMOX.
Here's something you won't hear from any other jeweler. Right now, when you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct, we'll give you a free gold setting for it. Yes, a 14-karat classic solitaire setting in white gold or yellow gold at no charge with any natural diamond purchase. So all your money can go toward a bigger diamond, while you still get the classic look she wants in that engagement ring. Another example of Diamonds Direct's extraordinary value. Or if you want to take it up to the next level, Diamonds Direct also has a fantastic selection of halo, pave, vintage, 3-stone, and other popular mountings. Or maybe she wants a designer ring, like the one she's seen on social media. Well, Diamonds Direct has those too. In fact, we are an authorized retailer for all the top designers from New York and California. Whichever setting you choose, you'll also be able to choose your finance plan. Diamonds Direct now has a wide range of finance options with attractive rates and terms up to 60 months, so you can get the ideal setting to fit your style with the ideal payment to fit your budget. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Store hours, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com. Get a pen. You'll want to take this number down. Okay, you have health insurance, or you don't have health insurance, but you want health insurance at a reasonable price, right? Well, you won't find it with Obamacare, where you can only sign up once a year. With their high deductibles and limited networks, you need to talk to an expert. Kim Kiefer at H&L Agency can help. If you pay for your own health insurance, or your employment coverage is just unaffordable, or if you have a few employees, you could be saving 30 to 60% if you qualify. Couples under 65 are saving $500 to $1,000 a month with better coverage. Go to hnlagency.org and get a quote today. We all need quality health insurance at an affordable price. Call Kim at 800-975-2841. That's 800-975-2841. Or go to hnlagency.org. And is spelled out. That's hnlagency.org. A quality plan managed by you, not the government.
And paid for by 24/7 Holdings, LLC. Attention business owners. Are you tired of those hefty credit card fees cutting into your profits? Well, we've got some exciting news for you. Thanks to the Dodd-Frank Act, there's now a game-changing solution to save you at least 95% on your processing expenses, guaranteed. Imagine processing unlimited transactions for as low as $49 a month. Our patented software gives your customers 2 price points based on how they pay, full or credit card price. It's that simple. And here's the best part. You can enjoy 24/7 support, next-day funding, a virtual terminal, online gateway, and ACH processing. Our patented solution is available in all 50 states, making it the go-to choice for thousands of businesses looking to eliminate processing fees for good. If you're ready to take your business to the next level, call 800-341-1609 now. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to save 95% on processing fees guaranteed. Call 800-341-1609 and make the change today. That's 800-341-1609. Again, 800-341-1609.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
When selling your home, you want the most money and the least hassle. That's exactly what you get when you work with trusted realtor Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is Debbie Monterey, and selling your home is one of the biggest financial decisions you will ever make. And that's why having an expert on your side is crucial. Other agents know that some sellers will choose the agent that tells them the highest price they can get for their home, and that can be a dangerous strategy. Most of the time, it ends up being empty promises. Gloria Liu doesn't make empty promises. She makes guarantees in writing. Gloria Liu will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed to price and time frame, or she'll buy it. Guaranteed in writing. So pick up the phone and call Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. Gloria Liu, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty.
The Y98 St. Louis City Soccer Report continues on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
The St. Louis City Soccer Report continues indeed with discussion of St. Louis City 2 opening its season this weekend at City Park. As always, a great affordable alternative to the St. Louis City games here in downtown West. Jen Cease talked about that and much more with St. Louis City President and General Manager Diego Gigliani.
Here with Diego Gigliani, GM, St. Louis City SC. Let's first talk about Saturday's game. The team will be in LA, but all of St. Louis will have access to this game for free.
That's right. It's not something that happens all the time, but it is one of, I think it's going to be 6 games throughout the regular season that are going to be completely free to watch. So you don't have to have a MLS season pass subscription to watch this. And it's a way of making sure that more people can get to know how to find these games, how to watch them on Apple TV Plus, hopefully see how they work, and then become a subscriber.
So you go to any pub, any house, if you can download the Apple app, you can watch the game easy.
That's right. You download Apple TV and you'll be able to see it in front of the paywall rather than behind the paywall. So anyone that isn't a subscriber yet can try it out.
On Sunday, things get started for City 2, and it's not your regular average opening game.
Yeah, that's right. We're really excited about this one. I think already with the success from last year where we saw how many people were coming to our City 2 games because of how sold out our City matches were, but also just other things about City 2 that make it a great and complimentary experience. It is at City Park, so you get a way to come and see the stadium. The pricing obviously is a lot more attractive, and you have a slightly different experience. It's an earlier kickoff time. You're able to get more families in. And after seeing how well it went last year, we decided to double down on that. So this year, we are excited to have our first inaugural match at home this coming Sunday at 6 p.m. But we're trying to lean in a bit more heavily into this family-focused approach. So we will not only have a family-focused time on Sundays at 6 instead of Saturdays at 7:30, which I know for families out there and young kids is a little bit friendlier.
You have littles, I have littles.
Absolutely.
So sometimes a later match is a little tough on a Sunday night.
Yeah. My kids have been to many more City 2 games than they have to City games because it's just not as easy time-wise. So more family-friendly time. It's also more family-friendly pricing. There's actually $5 tickets for 12-year-olds and under for this Sunday. So it's a great opportunity to bring them in. And there's a lot of family-oriented food and beverage this time. We have Wally's is going to be providing food, which we know is a brand that lots of kids love around here. And we're also going to be having kids-oriented experiences like, a kids supporter camp that we're trialing out. So kids can play drums there and behave like our fans do on a regular City match. We're going to have face painting. We're going to have some cameras trying to film kids in the stands, a lot of things oriented to families and kids.
And if you're a budding announcer, I hear that there might be some young voices on the PA.
That is true. That's another example. We're just taking a look at the whole experience of a game and trying to reinvent it for a family audience. So yeah, even something like the PA announcer, we said, well, what if the PA announcer is a kid? So we're going to start trialing all these things in this inaugural match. We look forward to experiencing it, learning from it, getting feedback from fans, seeing what sticks, and during the season, hopefully fine-tuning at that proposition that works for families.
Well, I want to point that out too, because I know that Matt Seebeck and his team are very, very dialed in on feedback. Much was changed for the first team. And so if you go to these matches and you give feedback, City listens.
Absolutely. No, it's amazing how every single week after every home match, we have that report of the surveys, but also even read the comments that people write. So yeah, it definitely plays a role in the decisions that we choose to focus on afterwards, and hopefully continue fine-tuning that experience for everyone that comes.
I love the phrase that I heard, future fans, future stars. So you've got little ones who hopefully are first team fans in the future. And then City 2, it's been more than once that the first team has called up City 2 players. You could be looking at a player at a nice price, at a nice time on a Sunday that might appear on the first team pitch on any given Saturday.
Absolutely. This is one of the exciting things about it. No, I think last year we had the story of Miggy Perez, which everyone remembers, but now we know we have other players like, Johnny Klein, who's a St. Louis native, and, Caden Glover also on the Illinois side, but also St. Louis native. And those players, you'll be able to see them, week in and week out at City 2. And I have no doubt that several of those will find opportunities with the first team.
And like always, the City 2 players are great at giving out autographs and connecting with the fans after every game.
Yeah, and we're going to try to do that a little bit more even this season.
That's Diego Gigliani, the president and general manager of St. Louis City, and I suppose St. Louis City too as well by default, in that he's overseeing the entire club.
He's got a lot to do.
City to open up their season. I said Saturday. I should have said Sunday, obviously. It will be Sunday at 6 p.m. against Colorado Rapids 2 here at City Park. And you can also watch that on MLS Season Pass if you have it on
that's right.
Apple TV. But as he mentioned, there's really not a lot of reason to watch it on Apple TV because if you want to see the game, it's very affordable to come down and do
the
it.
first game, $5 a ticket. I mean, crazy. Like that's crazy. It's amazing. I'm sure it's still affordable, even if it's not $5 a ticket. And I love the how can you resist the kid outrage?
Right.
I'm not putting any of my kids on the PA announcer, just so you know. I do not trust any of them because I would be fired. I would be fired.
Yeah.
But it would be funny, but I would be fired.
Right, that's sometimes the price you have to pay. Give the people what they want. No, I used to work in minor league baseball for a while, and I think it's the same kind of thing. It's just perfect for families with young kids because young kids who love soccer, they don't care if it's City or City 2. In fact, they'll love City 2 because they can run around a little bit if they get
That's
bored.
right.
When they're locked in, you can afford to sit a few rows from the field, and they can be close and really engrossed. It'll be easy to park. It'll be cheap to get in. All of those things. Minor league baseball was great for me as a kid. I love seeing kids experience it then when I was an adult or semi-adult working in it. And I think City 2 offers much the same thing. And it has the bonus benefit of being in the same really nice stadium, which minor league baseball does not get. So,
quick question. I know we can take a break, but did you ever find that whoever you followed as a minor league baseball then kind of went on and you were like, I saw them when?
Yeah. And it's a cool thing. When I was in elementary school, we lived in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. At home to the AA Harrisburg Senators, who were, when we moved there, the affiliate of the Montreal Expos, and then later and now the affiliate of the Washington Nationals. And Ryan Zimmerman came through and played. And he lasted maybe 3 months because everybody knew he was on the fast track to the majors. And he went on to a perennial all-star kind of career. And then we moved, but Steven Strasburg and then ultimately Bryce Harper came through shortly after. Cool. And that's a cool thing. And we know, as Diego said, we're going to see plenty of stories like that as well for St. Louis City 2. So Sunday evening at City Park, St. Louis City 2 opening up their season. We'll take one more break, wrap up when we return. The St. Louis City Soccer Report on KMOX.
Saturdays are made for soccer.
Parker elevated now ahead! And it's in! City lead!
Catch St. Louis City SC Soccer anywhere you go on the Odyssey app.
Oh, Roman Berkey! A huge save! Oh, Roman Berkey!
Saturdays are made for soccer. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Together Credit Union, the exclusive banking partner of City SC and Academy of the Sacred Heart. Independent Sacred Heart education since 1818.
A goal without a plan is just a wish. To get started on your retirement income plan, call Sachs Financial today and live your best life now and in retirement. Sachs Financial, the home of the Retirement Compensation Plan at RetireSafeST STL.com.
The key to a great lawn is Scott's 4-Step Fertilizer Program, available at Cotton's Ace Hardware. When you buy the Scott's 4-Step Program, you'll receive a $20 Ace gift card only at Cotton's Ace Hardware locations. With the Scott's 4-Step Program, you'll feed your lawn after a harsh winter, control the spring weeds, and every season throughout the year, you'll have the product that you need to make your lawn the best one around. When it comes to lawn care, stop guessing because the experts have already done it for you. Get the Scott's 4-Step Program at any area Cotton's Ace Hardware.
Paid for by Coalition Life. Stop. Wait. Think twice about signing that petition. That innocent petition is not a replacement for Roe versus Wade. We're talking late term and partial birth, long after the baby can feel pain. But that's not all. Signing that petition obliterates parental rights. Worse, it strips away malpractice protections for prenatal care, childbirth, miscarriage care, and all other reproductive health care. So if you or a loved one is hurt while accessing reproductive care, you forfeit your rights to sue. So think twice about signing that petition and instead join us on Saturday, March 23rd, just outside Union Station for March on the Arch, hosted by Coalition Life. March 23rd is a day to stand up for the precious babies and their brave mothers in a powerful morning filled with prayer, love, and inspiration. Register today at stlmarch.com, stlmarch.com, because every life deserves a chance.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Savings. Now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And with My Lowe's Rewards, your savings just keep coming. Save money with member-only offers and earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards just for you. Because Lowe's knows you earned it, literally. Learn more about our new loyalty program at lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See lowes.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
What if there is a murderer walking among us?
Follow the clues. Solve the mystery.
This village really is a place where murder is easy.
Agatha Christie's Murder is Easy, a brand new BritBox original series, is streaming now, adding to the largest collection of Agatha Christie, including Miss Marple, Poirot, Why Didn't They Ask Evans, and more.
The whole collection, it is magnificent.
Stream the best of British TV, only on BritBox. Start a free trial at BritBox.com.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Biana's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Y98 St. Louis City Soccer Report continues on America's Sports Voice. KMOX.
You better get those headphones on.
They're on. They're on. Nate Gatter, Jen Cease, wrapping up for you the last 4 minutes or so of the St. Louis City Soccer Report tonight on what is going to be our regular time going forward for the vast majority of the season. Might be a little wiggling around here and there due to the Cardinals, but for the most part, 8 to 10 on Thursday nights this spring, summer, and into the fall. Although I will not be here for the next few weeks, but Jen will be holding it down.
That's a good reminder. Thank you.
No problem. Jen will have you covered just fine. If you missed anything from our conversations today, which is Alex Pfeiffer, George Gansner, Dale Schilly, Diego Gigliani, Edward Leuven, Ruth Harker, they are all available on the free Odyssey app. You can go back and listen to the show in podcast form, anything you missed. You can also listen to everything streaming live on that free Odyssey app, including not only what's here on KMOX, which encompasses Cardinals baseball, of course, but also on our sister station Y98, which includes every St. Louis City game. The next one coming up, 9:30 kickoff local time on Saturday night, 9 o'clock pregame with our own Jen Cease when City head to Carson, California to take on the Los Angeles Galaxy, who are themselves off to an unbeaten start and just ahead on not even goal difference, but goals scored, just ahead, third in the West to City's fourth to this point. And for that matter, if you don't want to download the free Odyssey app, which why wouldn't you? Because it's free. But if you missed Ruth Harker or Edward Leuven, they will be, albeit in shortened form, on that pregame at 9 o'clock Central on Saturday night with Jen Cease. Jen, what else is on your mind with the couple minutes that we have left after seeing practice today and chatting with folks this week, heading into what feels like an interesting game, and as Dale told us, sort of a stylistically intriguing game, but a little bit of a test for City as well to see if maybe they can get over the line and get the 3 points instead of the 1.
Yeah, Coach was asked about that today in terms of the matchup of styles, and he's like, what kind of matchup, right? Because it's completely different how they play. City's more than happy to have you have the ball. Bradley doesn't need possession for possession's sake. Possession with a purpose.
He doesn't even want possession.
Yeah, he's fine. He wants the ball in transition and he wants to make it count. So I am curious if we are going to maybe see some City of old. In terms of why not? Why not throw everything at them, right? Because we already know they're good in transition. We already heard Dale's analysis, which is always spot on, about what weapons they have. Coach talked about them today as well. But why not go with everything you have in terms of stylistic? Put the press on. You want to move the ball? Move it under press. And I know they press as well. They're not afraid to come after you with the ball, but can they outpress us? I would be interested to see that full on. When we sometimes have seen City dial it back and maybe change it a little bit, maybe we don't see him do that this time. Maybe we get to see the old one.
And don't forget, Diego Gigliani, of course, talked about it in that recorded interview with Jen. But Sunday evening, City 2 opening up their season against Colorado Rapids 2 at City Park. 6 o'clock kickoff times, a little bit earlier, a little more friendly for the families, for the kids. On top of that, $5 tickets available for kids 12 and under, available at SeatGeek.com. There's, on top of that, a kid-focused supporter camp outside Section 111.
That sounds fun. I want to be in it.
Discounted food prices, great opportunities for kids to meet the players, get autographs, all of that after the game. And if you can't be there, also available on MLS Season Pass on the Apple TV app. Speaking of things available on the Apple TV app, we didn't mention this. The St. Louis City 1 game, if you will, the first team game against LA Galaxy, free on MLS Season Pass. All you have to do is go to Apple TV on your laptop or the app on your TV
download.
Or on your phone or tablet or whatever. You just have to download it and maybe create a free account, and you can watch St. Louis City
so
against
like
LA Galaxy.
Free. It's
on,
all free.
9:30 kickoff Saturday night. If you can't hear it or can't listen to it, watch it, whatever, you can hear it streaming on the free Odyssey app, and you can listen to it on Y98. Matt Pajeski's favorite, Pat Benatar's playing us out. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and listen to the beginning of the first hour when Matt just totally bombed it all over this.
Nate!
But we appreciate Matt Pajeski, as always, Jen Cease, and all of our guests. Nate Gatter saying, see you next week. St. Louis City Soccer Report on KMOX.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big